Long-awaited restoration of the Air Force Academy Cadet Chapel is getting more expensive and will have to wait a little bit longer. News 5 senior reporter Brett Forrest has some new updates for us tonight.
Based on some new data I dug into, the Cadet Chapel restoration project just jumped another 36% in cost. It's now approaching about half of what was spent on the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris after that 2019 fire, except that project was done in about half the time. The DoD awarding construction firm J.E. Dunn another $88 million for the Air Force Academy Cadet Chapel restoration project, ballooning the total cost to a now estimated $335 million. The chapel now projected to open in November 2028. So the $335 million price tag, surely some people might look at that and think, why not just build a new chapel? Tear this one to the ground and build something from the ground up. Surely that would be cheaper. What's your response to that?
I think there's a great point to be made of grazing something and rebuilding it, but rebuilding something, preserving something specifically in this case requires an attention to the smallest amounts of details.
That's Neil Evers, the associate chair of the University of Colorado's Environmental Design Department. Yes, he acknowledges the price tag has skyrocketed.
I don't know if an expectation for a timeline is fair, but I do think when they say it'll take 4 or 5 years and instead it takes closer to 10, that's a problem.
But he thinks it's worth it for historical preservation.
In my opinion, it's one of the most seminal pieces of modern architecture in the United States, if not the most. That's an arguable statement. This Air Force Academy was kind of the first modernist building or modernist architecture in a time when modernism was really taking off in the 50s.
The 52,000 square foot chapel opened in 1962 with 17 steel spires, an all-faith center for cadets.
As soon as the chapel opened up in 62, it leaked immediately. And so the Air Force came back in and started doing a whole bunch of Band-Aid fixes to try and stop the leakage.
So the Academy began plans for a large-scale renovation effort.
We started this journey in 2016, when the Air Force provided us funding to design the repair of the Cadet Chapel. We awarded the contract to our industry partner, J.E. Dunn, in 2019, July of 2019, and we closed the chapel to the public and to our staffs and cadets in October of that year.
But the extent of asbestos discovered during the project has added years to the timeline.
I think 9 years is outrageous, honestly. I know there was a lot of asbestos, enough to fill a bunch of football fields. Nobody wants that, but this is the U.S. Air Force.
A recent push from conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, a member of the Academy's Board of Visitors, seeks to accelerate the timeline, saying many current cadets are disappointed they'll never step foot in the chapel.
What would happen if this became a top priority from the Secretary of Defense or the White House if we wanted to streamline this?
Is there a way to allocate resources to speed up a project like this?
My very high level kind of response to that is probably not. A project like this has so many stakeholders, and it's not really a matter of monetary resources.
As for what the new $88 million contract is for, the Air Force Civil Engineers Center tells me it came about due to, quote, unforeseen structural discrepancies and design conflicts discovered during the restoration project. So this new contract modification is going to delay and extend the timeline to November 2028. I'm Brett Forrest reporting.